beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about a new eyeshadow palette from Butter London. This is the Teddy Girl palette. This one is currently available. You can find it at Ulta. That's the only place that I found it online for now, but if it pops up in any other online retailers, I will try to remember to link it down in the description box for you so that you can shop for this palette. This one is priced at $28. It has this cool packaging. It reminds me of that Tartist Pro face palette that opens up from the middle like this. Inside there are 9 eyeshadow shades. There is a little mirror on one side here. At first I was not really a fan of that. I did find this pretty easy to use to do my eyeshadow while I was playing with this palette. Once I actually used the mirror, I don't mind it as much as I thought I was going to. The shade layout also kind of initially bothered me, and frankly still kind of bothers me. I wish they were all just big pans. I get that it's supposed to be this like cute little aesthetic, and I'm not really mad at that. It's just I wish that I was getting full sizes of all these shadows. I don't like the wasted space, and it just kind of irks me. I don't know. Also, these 4 shades that are in the smaller pans are 4 of the more interesting or more useful shades in the palette, so I just wanted more of that eyeshadow. When it comes to the actual eyeshadows, we have 5 mattes and 4 shimmers. There's no eye safety warning on any of these shades. This palette is cruelty-free. Butter London is a cruelty-free brand, so for those of you who are my cruelty-free friends, just know that this palette is definitely going to work for you. The outer packaging is a little bit plain. It's very minimalist. It definitely fits the Butter London brand. I was wishing for like a little bit something cutesy after their Natural Goddess palette, which I really liked the packaging on that, but you know, I'm not mad at this. It's going to be easy to clean. It's just like a heavy duty cardboard, and these flaps are magnetic. So this will be easy to take care of. It makes sense for the Butter London brand, and I think that the, you know, the visual aesthetic aspect is really inside anyway. So that is that about the packaging. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some swatches now. Like all my palette swatch and review videos, I will be doing both finger and brush swatches. I'll be swatching on the inside of my arm with absolutely no primer down first, just the shadow straight onto my skin. The finger swatches will be on top, and then the brush swatches will be below. For the brush swatches, I'll be using my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush, and I'll clean the brush off in between each shade using my Viramona color switch just to prevent any transfer between shades. So let's go ahead and take a look at those swatches now. Here's a look at the swatches. Just a reminder that the finger swatches are on top and the brush swatches are below. I was very impressed by how all of these shades brush swatched, except for Poppy and Pippa. They're basically non-existent on my skin tone, but these metallics swatched so beautifully. Now that you've seen all the shades swatched, let's take a look at an eyeshadow tutorial using this Teddy Girl palette. Pretty sure I used every single shade in the palette for this eye look today. So let's take a look at that tutorial, and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts on this palette at the end. You know the drill. I always start by priming my eyes with my favorite eye base. It is the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. Then it's time to open up this Teddy Girl palette. This is pretty fun to play with. I'm going to start by setting my eye base using this shade Poppy. This is just a little off-white matte shadow, pretty standard issue. Next, we're going to go into the center shade. This is a warm, toasty, almost pinky brown called Matilda. Really nice transition shade for the other colors in this palette. I am going to layer up this matte pretty slowly because, as you saw from the brush swatches, these mattes are pretty intense. Next, I'm going to go into Penelope, this time on a small little round fluffy brush, and I'm going to start to build up some depth on the outer part of the eye. This is a really pretty like reddish purple. Next, I'm going to take Beatrice, and on a small flat brush, I'm going to stamp that right along my lower lashes. And then I'm going to blend it out using Matilda, that soft, like medium tone, on a fluffier brush, and making sure that connects to the upper part of the eye. Then I'm going to take this shade called Iris Using my finger, I'm going to sweep this pretty pinky shimmery shade all across the rest of my lid. Then I'm going to use Lottie. This is the shimmery red, and I'm just going to tap a little bit of that on the outer part of the eye to keep that dramatic look there. Going back for a little extra blend with no additional product, just sort of smoothing out the edge there. Then I took Pippa. This is like a pale pink sort of matte satiny shade on the brow bone. And of course, I need my inner corner highlight. I'm using this silvery lavender called Lucille, just applying that with my pinky finger around the inner corner. And I realized Ella was the only shade I hadn't used, so I picked up a little bit of that on my finger and sort of used it to blend together the pink and the red shades for a little added shimmer. I always need more shimmer. Curled my lashes, added some CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara, and that's my finished look. Now these shades, they're pretty standard issue, warm browns, reds, pinks. However, I loved working with this formula, and I do think that my eye look turned out really fun, beautiful, wearable. I like it. So there are a few things that I really, really like about this palette, and there are a couple things that I would change. First of all, I love my eye look. I love the shadows in here. These shades were super easy to work with. The formula on both the mattes and the shimmers was really beautiful. The mattes are super soft, easy to blend, and the shimmers are really, really bright, really beautiful. I do prefer them applied with a finger versus a brush, but I kind of feel that way about every single shimmer. The texture is just smooth and buttery, and it just feels very luxurious. I'm a big fan of the formula on these shadows. I think this little packaging style is cute, and it's definitely something cool and a little bit different for Butter London. It definitely sets this palette apart, but it still very much fits within the aesthetic of the brand. So personally, I like more cutesy packaging, but I'm actually not mad at this packaging. Now, I will say one of the things I would change on here is not the style of the packaging, but the design, because I would have loved to see this Teddy Girl palette released for Valentine's Day. I think this would have been a super cute Valentine's Day palette with some kind of like hearts or roses motif. I don't know, something floral maybe. Just a gorgeous like Valentine's Day theme. I think these shades would really fit in with that. And when it comes to the actual shades, there are just a couple things that I would have like changed or tweaked. First of all, these two large pans here on the first and second rows, the shade Poppy and the shade Pippa, they look exactly the same when they're applied to the skin. I don't know why they're both in here, let alone why they're both taking up so much real estate in this palette. I would have loved to see one of these shades as a duochrome, like a pink to white or like a pale gold type of duochrome. I just think both of these shades are unnecessary. They're too repetitive. And I kind of feel that way about these two dark matte shades as well, Beatrice and Penelope. Penelope has a more purpley tone to it, but I wish they would have just really gone for it and just made it actually a purple and not this like sort of brown, sort of maroonish purple. I think that could have added a lot of variation into the palette just by switching up this one matte shade. So that's it as far as shades that I would change. I just think a little tweak to this palette could have given it a lot more interest and a lot more variation. I know that for my last Butter London palette review, I said that I would change some things in that one too. And honestly, I hope that doesn't come across as me like hating on the brand, because I genuinely really love Butter London as a brand. I love their nail polishes. I've given their formulas really good reviews across the board. Even the like, what was it, the like jelly cheeks that they did, a lot of people didn't like those and I did like them. So when I suggest changes, I'm definitely not hating on the brand. I love Butter London. And actually recently one of my friends asked me if I could collaborate with somebody besides ColourPop, because obviously, if I could collaborate with a brand besides ColourPop, who would I collaborate with? And I said it would be Butter London. They're underhyped, they're underrated, and I feel like I could actually contribute something creatively to them. So just know that when I suggest edits or changes, it's not like coming from a place of hate. It's actually really coming from a place of love, because I want to see their products do well. And even though there are things I would change in this palette, overall I do like it. I don't think it's gonna be very exciting on the market right now, just because we've been very saturated with palettes, and this is kind of a basic color scheme. I just wish it was a Valentine's Day palette. How cute would this be? If this was a cute little Valentine's Day palette, I would probably be going nuts for it. Overall, I would say I do like it. I definitely don't hate it. I think it's worth the price for sure. It's just not quite perfect for me. Anyway, that's just me. It's just it's just one woman's opinion, okay? I was just looking up what a teddy girl actually is, and it's really interesting 1950s style subculture. I'm gonna link some articles down in the description box because I actually think this is really cool, and if you're into like historical style or anything like that, check it out. I think it's pretty cool. These are some like badass chicks. I am all about it. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about this palette. Are you interested in it? What would you change about it if you could? I always love to hear what you guys think about things too. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. What? I don't know. So pretty. At a I can hear my dog walking around upstairs. Pays homage to the teddy girls of the 1950s British underground. I literally don't know what that means. Teddy girls, the style subculture that time forgot. Forgotten 50s girl gang. What? These chicks are awesome. They're like chicks in suits with curled hair, like smoking cigarettes and looking swaggy. Pairing of the aristocratic flamboyancy of an Edwardian gent with the rebellious attitude of American rock and roll. Shouldn't have worked, but it did. Holy crap, I'm obsessed with these people. What? I'm gonna link this article because it's super interesting. Okay, getting back to the subject at hand. Whew. I just want you to know that I have no self-control, and I definitely ordered that gigantic Norvina Volume 1 palette from the Sephora sale. So, you know, if you watched this part, let me know if you want to see a review on that behemoth. It looks super beautiful, so oh, I couldn't resist. La 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 la. So, you know, Butter London, hit your girl up if you ever want to collaborate. You know, I'm here. If you just, I'm just saying, it's me and you, we could do a thing. Hey, hey. All right. I don't know. Okay. I can't speak. I'm sorry. Words have a... I promise that this will get filled up with stuff soon. All right, I'm still unpacking. That's like basically empty. This is empty. Oh, it's just whole room's filled with boxes. I'm getting there, okay? Working on it. All right. I'm gonna go do that now. Okay, bye.